In the Liangshan and Liangshan mountain region, in the southwestern Sichuan province, generations of Yi people have lived and thrived. Today, the population of Yi residents there has reached 2 million. They traditionally worship the tiger, the color black and fire, and are known for their singing. They also have their own language and astronomical calendar. The region is known for the beauty of its girls, its splendid ethnic costumes, and for being the birthplace of the Torch Festival, or the Oriental Valentine's Day. The singing voices here sometimes sound sonorous, and sometimes like sentimental whispers. Either way, they sound as if they were from heaven. The place is fascinating, and the Yi people's folk songs even more so. We've now entered the mysterious Liangshan region, full of excitement. Rusala is a soloist from the Liangshan Yi Autonomous Prefecture Song and Dance Ensemble. He has a day off today, which is rare for him because he's constantly busy with performances. Rusala is reported to be the prince of Yi love songs and a leading star in his ensemble. Therefore, he is of course busier than the other performers. Whenever asked to look back on his life as a musician, he mentions his mother with great gratitude.
当然应该是最好的启蒙老师了，那肯定是，没有这个肯定不会经历这种，走一走歌唱的一种道路。雁过拉的沙漠是云来，雁过拉的是。阿么子月子么给你来，
Rusala was born in the mountainous area of Leibo County. He spent his childhood like many other Yi children. When he was tending his sheep, he sang about mountains and waters that surrounded him, and gradually singing became part of his life. When he was a boy, he never had a chance to sit in a school classroom or venture outside the mountains. It never occurred to the little shepherd boy that he would eventually become a professional singer. Then how did he embark on a singing career?
最开始是做歌的大人一起打工，这样子。打工以后，后来就有一个老师就听到我哼一些民歌，哎呦，你嗓子好得很吧？他跟他学唱歌。
Rusala left home just to make a living, but unexpectedly, his extraordinary voice gave him a chance to make singing, something familiar yet so strange, his career. The folk song is a work of nature. It acquires vitality when sung by people and becomes systemized and sophisticated when studied. Professor Fu Tie is deputy chairman of the Musicians Association of Sichuan Province. He spent his childhood the same way as Rusala, and he also managed to find his own niche outside the mountains because of Yi folk songs. However, what he turned out to be is a researcher and composer.
从旋律特征上讲，它是一出音乐是优美，这个抒情，这个优美抒情性很强啊。另外就是旋律的这个音域的话，一般就不高，啊，它音程的调度也不大，啊，这是一种一出的比较典型的一种旋律形式。另外就是一出音乐的它的这个节奏形式，和我们这个一出的语言的这个是分不开的。
An Yi saying goes, "It's better to be without meals for 3 days than without songs for 1 day." The list of Yi songs is endless. They can generally be put into the following categories: mountain songs, love songs, narrative songs, and ritual songs. According to the needs of emotional expression, the songs can be either like a lingering aria or a passionate symphony. In addition to the varied forms of expression, the diversity of Yi folk songs also arises from regional differences.
比如说我们这个布托这一带，它是住在草原上，很宽敞哈，坝子很大。他住在高头以后，他放羊啊、放牛啊，或者说放马啊、骑着马啊，这走了以后，他很高亢。他的高腔是你比如说， 这个大黄的一个说的不来通个来喂，有很高的就它这个旋律就它出得来，但是它节奏不变，哒哒哒哒哒哒，哎，那么比如说我们美国内波这一段的有那个哒哒哒哒哒哩哒哒哒哒哒哒，比如说这种类似的很优美，但是它又很抒情。
The high pitch is reputed to be the Beijing opera of the Yi people. It's popular in southern Liangshan, especially in the Butou region. After Rusala decided to become a professional singer, he travelled all over Liangshan to learn folk songs of different styles. The high pitch is one of his favourites because of its sonorous texture and lingering melodies. In the past, Liangshan was hard to reach due to the lack of developed transportation. Surging rivers and precipitous mountains formed a natural shield. Because of its geographical isolation, the Yi people lived in small communities spread throughout the region, and every community developed its own distinct folk songs. The Yi people are generally reserved when it comes to expressing emotions. In the past, young people were not allowed to sing love songs in the village, especially in the presence of the elderly. Usually, young people in love would climb the mountains or go into the woods or fields to sing to each other about their feelings. Azanyu means the youngest girl cousin in the Yi language and is also the name of the tune. It carries a special cultural connotation and has become the symbol of Yi love songs, representing the Yi people's longing for love, freedom and happiness. The tune can be sung as a duet and also by a solo singer.
Azanyu, nala ning bu la xi do tiao an gu. Azanyu, azanyu, azanyu. 那卡特古那俺你是一郎，啊咱哟，那卡特古那俺你是一郎。
When Rusalla performed this song at the Japan International Art Festival in 2000, a Japanese girl approached him and asked for his autograph. She was reduced to tears by the overflow of emotions in the song. The artistic appeal of folk songs has already transcended language, race, and national borders, reaching the hearts of every listener. It all began with his trip to Beijing 20 years ago. By 1991, 35-year-old Rusalla had already become an experienced professional singer and the leading star of the song and dance ensemble of Liangshan Prefecture. But he wanted to learn more about music theory and improve his singing techniques. At that time, the Beijing Institute of Vocal Music was accepting applications from all over the country. Rusalla knew that the admission criteria was strict, but still decided to give it a try and sent in his demo. He had never received any formal education before, so didn't have high hopes, but was very surprised when he was accepted. Later, he asked his teacher why the institute decided to admit him. 20 years on, the answer still makes him proud.
他说我的这个彝族这个字的我都不知道，但是他说你唱这个歌，纯你的歌。 你不是个小民族啊，你是个伟大的民族啊！这一点我一点点自豪。
After a year of systematic study, Rusalla had acquired knowledge of advanced music theories.
到北京以后，包括那个乐理课呢、音乐理论呢、和声呢，包括我接触一些国外的歌剧呢，其他的艺术歌剧也好，接触了很多了。 记住很多，这个是对我以后的唱歌应该起了很大的作用。
Professional competence, in addition to his native cultural background, enables Rusalla to bring out the unique charm of folk songs in a distinctive way. After finishing his study, Rusalla turned down a couple of job offers in big cities and returned to his hometown in the mountains, where he can be around his beloved music and customs that he knows so well. Some elderly men have never cut their hair in their entire lives. They coil their long hair into what are known as Buddha's lock of hair. Young men use zortie, or the hero knot, to bind their hair and wear sa'owa cloaks, while women wear embroidered kerchiefs and silver ornaments. Rusalla talked about all this with sentimentality, as well as the marriage customs.
我说彝族的酒会是很有文化的内涵，是吧？又唱歌又对歌，然后唱哭嫁歌。
In the past, the rugged mountains and underdeveloped transport made Liangshan difficult to access. For a bride-to-be who had to move to another place after marriage, it could be ages before she saw her family again. Therefore, girls would sing the crying marriage songs all night long before the day of the wedding to express their complex feelings. Almost all the girls know how to sing the songs. While Rusala was studying in Beijing, Professor Fu Tie was busy collecting folk songs in the Liangshan region. He also took great interest in the E mouth harp. The E mouth harp is made of thin sheets of bamboo or copper, which are usually about 7 or 8 centimeters long. The number of sheets ranges from 2 to 6. Nowadays, this type of musical art is on the verge of being lost. But we were lucky and found a local E mouth harp performer, Zervdus Ding Ding. The performer plucks the harp reeds and adjusts the tones by controlling resonance in the mouth cavity. The reeds vibrate to create sounds and at the same time overtones which enrich the melody. For the E people, playing the mouth harp is actually an effective way of expressing their feelings.
比如说我们一些女的想给男娃儿表达她的情感的时候，她又悄悄把这个东西把口弦来诉讼。 口弦是诉说，甚至口弦，我们艺术人说口弦会说话。
In the past few decades, Professor Fu Tie has collected more than 1,000 E-folk songs. He's left his footprints in almost every corner of the Liangshan region and made friends with folk singers. Jiku Monmon is one of them.
姐姐晚上跟伢跟姐去买啥？你说个不去买啥？爱你西瓜西瓜西瓜伢，伢伢伢伢伢。
Jiku Monmon not only sings well, but was also known for her beauty when she was young. She told us that she's been twice selected as the most beautiful girl in the region. Winning the title is an honour of a lifetime. The E people choose one girl every year during the Torch Festival, which falls on the 24th day of the 6th month of the lunar calendar. On that day, all the E-girls will gather together, wearing their traditional festival dresses and holding a golden umbrella. The respected elderly people will judge their appearances and manners and choose the girl who possesses both beauty and virtue. This tradition has been celebrated for more than 3,000 years. A song about the E people's pursuit of happiness will be sung as a collective way to express their joy. The E people have a saying, only the wood cannot sing, and only the old ox cannot dance. In order to show their best dance moves, these E girls and boys often practice the Da-ti dance together. In the E language, Da-ti means to tread or stomp. The Da Ti dance was created by Professor Fu Tie a couple of years ago, based on traditional Yi singing and dancing. This is the Yi people's ancient ritual practice. The Bimoks and the Su Niet are essential in these rites. The Bimoks is the Yi people's sage. For thousands of years, the history of this ethnic group has been passed down by word of mouth. The Su Niet is more like the singing and dancing master. Through these rituals, both the form and substance of their ancestors' singing and dancing tradition have been well preserved.
把我们音乐的文化，就包括我们语言的一些文化，通过音乐把它传承下来，包括我们一些叙事性的一些歌啊，就有些史诗，音乐通过音乐的这么一个载体，把它传下来。
In the past, since communication with the outside world was nearly impossible, the Yi people would turn to religion and their sagas when they had problems, and their ancient culture has been maintained almost intact. But since the 1990s, pop music has found its way into young people's hearts.
"本来这个流行音乐本来就是从西方传进来，然后再从我们的汉族同胞那里传到我们这些偏远山区的地方的时候，他们一下子被震撼了，然后他们就觉得，啊，这些歌是这么的好听啊！原来我们的民歌怎么这么难听啊？"
Lu Ning is a local music producer and also one of Professor Fu Tie's favourite students. Lu Ning is the creator of the first Yi women's singing group, Ma Flowers.
比如说爱情歌曲，你汉族有汉族的爱情歌曲，苗族有苗族的爱情歌曲，我彝族也有我彝族的爱情歌曲。那我的彝族的爱情歌曲，我去怎么写呢？对不对？比如说我有一首歌叫《情人》吧，因为我想到我们彝族啊，从前是包办婚姻的，也就是说从小吧，女孩子有13、14岁就婚嫁了，成婚了。那么像这样的几千年来的传统习俗，会造成一些什么东西呢？会造成一些就是对整个人生的一些对幸福追求的一些坎坷。所以我这首歌呢就写的就是说，如果你要来，就披着你的什么什么披毡来啊。
如果你要来，请树立多明无量的秀发来。如果你要来，请举着你摇曳如云的披毡来，配上你宛如星辰的英雄带。
In recent years, Lu Ning has composed many songs for Ma Flowers based on his in-depth reflections on the Yi traditional culture. He also took them to competitions at home and abroad, where they've won prizes many times. Lu Ning and his singing group are heartened by the recognition of their music. They also see the promising future of Yi music from the success of singing groups like Ma Flowers, who have brought their folk songs to an audience of hundreds of millions.
当然，现在我们山鹰队制造也好，他们写的歌也是不错，非常不错。但是呢，有外面的元素掺在我们的彝族的歌里面，这允许的，因为艺术是相通的，艺术跟其他学科不一样，完全可以这么做。 那么我就是说，警告这些年轻人，尤其是我们搞音乐的人，那就是一定要，就是应该越来越挖掘，越来越挖掘，而不是越来越远，越来越远。我想是这样，你作为一个这个民族，你表现的这应该是自己的东西，人家才能认可你。假设我现在是唱个蒙古族的歌，那你唱的再好，不是你自己本民族的东西，你代表的是他人，他的东西，而不是代表的是这个彝族。
彝族现代音乐的这些我们的那些先驱吧，像山鹰啊、彝人制造啊这些，他们现在想做的东西，应该更多的是考虑的比较大一些，就是说把民族的东西推向外面，或者更多的说是推向全国或者是国外。
Following in the footsteps of Mountain Eagles, more singing groups incorporating pop elements into folk songs are beginning to appear on the stage, including Made of People and Sun Tribe. Their music has been well received by critics and has a national audience. The very foundation of their success is the inheritance of the long-established folk music tradition.
我们彝族音乐本身还是博大精深的，而且很丰富。但是现在我们在传承这个方面呢，我觉得是现在有些面临着一种濒危。比如说我们民间的器乐演奏手，有些乐器演奏家、民间演奏家已经过世了，然后后头的后继无人。
Living in the information age, many young people are attracted by the cities and choose to leave their hometown, embracing a bustling city lifestyle. To our relief, there are still many young people who cherish their traditional ethnic music. And we also see people of different identities and backgrounds making efforts to protect and pass down folk songs to future generations. In 2005, the first folk song singing competition was held in Liangshan. It stirred an interest in learning and singing folk songs in communities. The folk song is an imprint from a culture that has evolved over thousands of years and a shared memory of the ethnic group. The forgotten tunes once again resonate in the heart of Liangshan, and the melodies are still breathtaking, as if they were from heaven.